Good morning, I'm Rhiannon. I'm the Archdeacon of Ipswich, and I also lead a project called Inspiring Ipswich. And I'm really privileged this morning to have a chance to talk to Evariste, who's a member of one of our churches, St Francis in Chantry. So Evariste, I wonder if you could begin by just telling us a bit about your early life.
Yeah, I grew up in Rwanda, that is in Africa, as a young child. The bit I remember, I used to go to the church with my parents. We were Catholics, but unfortunately, due to the war and genocide in Rwanda, when I lost them, I had to go to orphanage. So that's where really my early childhood was.
Right.
And I don't remember a lot about my parents or my early childhood, but what I remember, although I lost them, I had new friends and I lived really happily in the orphanage until again I had to leave because after 1994 war and genocide, there were a lot of orphan children, and those who were a bit older, I was about 16 then, we were asked to leave and find our way. So I spent most of that time on the street as a street child.
In Rwanda?
Yes, that is in Rwanda, in Kigali. That is the capital of Rwanda, and that's where really I started the Christian life. And I was on the street. In Rwanda, there are people who always preach on the street, or you would see people passing by going to church. So that's where that's where God found me in a difficult situation, and I started to go to church just like that.
Because you heard someone preaching on the street?
Yes.
Wow.
I was living a very hard and bad life. You can imagine living under the bridge, living in abandoned building, unfinished buildings. So when I had one pastor teaching, I thought maybe this Jesus they are talking about can help me. So I went to church. I remember when I went to church for the first time, I was sitting just behind where because the way I looked, the way I was, I didn't feel really I belong, and I felt ashamed because they were nice and dressed, were washed, but it wasn't the way I was.
But they welcomed you?
Yes, because after the church, the first day, obviously, I got bored and left. And then on the second Sunday, I went there again, and that's when the church started to realize me, the welcomer people. So that's when they saw me, because we a street child is always there to see everybody, to see. Many people don't want to get associated with them. They don't want to get closer to you. But I remember I was really welcomed, and in a very good way. They started giving me some kind of food and something to eat. So yeah.
So your life changed a fair bit when that happened.
Yes, it changed. I didn't stop living on the street. I continued to live on the street. but life changed a bit, because at that point I started to know people, to have people who I can pass by. They would give me food, and I would continue. When life would be bad, I get a bit food and I continue. So, and that's where because I stopped going to school a little bit because of that situation,
Yeah.
and that's when I started to go to school again, with the help of people who are looking after us in orphanage. So because of the church, I was able to start contact again, and so they sent me back to school. But the situation, although I was going back to school, but the situation hasn't changed much, because I got to school, I was in a boarding school, but whenever I come back, I had nowhere to go, so it was on the street.
Yeah.
But what I thank God for is many of my friends, there are few left now. Most of them are here, they have died.
Right.
Others use because of use of drug and alcohol. They are not really. They are still the same as they were then.
So sorry. Yes.
So.
And what happened then? Because what happened between then and you arriving in Ipswich?
Yeah. Again, that was one of the miracles God does, as God always do. I was not one of the people who would be thinking or would be I don't know how to say it, but I never thought about going to Europe, or because it was impossible for me. I never thought about it. Or when I see people taking hazardous journey, now that's when I understand. So I had during those trouble, school, and everything, I happened to know people, British people, who became like friends, and then and because at that time I was very involved in the church, and then I thought, now I can go to I can start like working with children on the street, because I thought I know their problems, and I can bring them to Jesus and tell them how their life can change. And from that time I started thinking of becoming working for the church. So these friends helped me to come here to train as to train in a Bible college.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. With the view of going back to do my work. Unfortunately, due to again to the situation I was in, and the situation which is related to the war we went through, I was not able to go back to Rwanda to continue what I had started.
But you went to a Bible college here?
Yes, I went to a Bible college in that is in Burgess Hill. That is in Sussex, I believe. So although I didn't go back to Rwanda to do what I started, I decided to claim asylum.
Yeah.
So that is how really St. Francis, my current home, I call it home really because I won't be where I am today without St. Francis Church and the people. When I'm talking about St. Francis, I don't really mind about the building or anything else, but the people.
The people of St. Francis.
Yes, the people
So,
of this.
so you were at Bible College, not in Ipswich.
Yes.
How did you make the connection with St. Francis?
When you claim asylum, one of the things you don't have control over is where you live.
Of course.
So
yes.
they give you somewhere to live, which I was taken to Birmingham. And then because what I have, because my stories, my life is very long, and I can't talk about it now and finish it. But what I haven't talked is that before I come here, I got married and had my beautiful boy. So when I left, he was still very young. So I had to try everything so that I can support them. And I had again a church in Bilderstone where my friends were,
Yes.
which again I can't thank them enough of what they have.
Wonderful.
So because I had some money going through my account, the Home Office asked, how can we support you when you have money going through your account? It wasn't a lot of money.
No.
But so what happened that time, I had to come to my friends in Bilderstone who looked after me until I was able to get a house again through Home Office in Ipswich. So that's how I got to Ipswich.
Yes.
So when I got to Ipswich, I remember one Sunday, this was a new town to me. I didn't know anybody in Ipswich town.
So it's just you and your wife and your child?
No.
Your son? Oh, not at that point?
Not at that point.
Oh, okay.
They were still in Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
So I went through the asylum process while they are in Rwanda.
Oh, difficult, yes.
Yeah, so so one Sunday, the Sunday I got to Ipswich, I went around trying to find a church where I can go to pray. So the first Sunday, I found church which was praying around in a school, Chantry High School, where I was living.
Yes.
So I spent the day there, the first week there. I didn't really feel, I didn't feel it's me. So the second Sunday, again, I was walking about. I heard the bell ringing, and then I followed that bell, and I went. That's how I came to.
How wonderful
St.
that they had a
Francis.
bell! Yes, yes, yes.
That's how I came to St. Francis.
Yes.
The first time I entered the building, and the first person I met, he's the person really who made me stay in that church, because he welcomed me as if he knew me before, and I felt that was really exception to me, because although I went through all the life I went through, but I knew God loves me, but at that point, I still hadn't got to trust people.
Yes.
Because of what I
Yes.
went through
Of
through the genocide and the war, I never really trusted people. I was a very quiet person. I wouldn't talk to anybody. So seeing somebody open the arm, come in, it was exceptional to me. And
So how long ago was that?
that is seem long time ago now, but that was in 2012.
Okay, so you've been there almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And you're now on the church council, aren't you, on the PCC, and you're
Yes.
very involved.
Yes.
And your wife came over, and you've got a beautiful family.
Yes.
And you started, tell us about your work and your training.
Yeah, again, being at St. Francis opened a lot of things for me, because I had lost faith. I trained to go and help children. I was not able to do it anymore, so I didn't really know what to do. So I started getting involved with the church. I made friends, very good friends, and I was also involved in a refugee organization here in Ipswich, and there we had befriending people who would show you around, who you can take to, who you can talk to. So those are people who really helped me to sit back and think again. My aim always has been, people have been horrible to me. They took my family away, but I felt that where I was, I survived. I got where I was because of people. So I had a heart that I feel I want to use my life at least to help the people. And while I was talking to one of my friend in refugee support, we were just chatting like we are chatting now, and this man said, "You know, Evariste, you can start and be a social worker. Social worker, what do? They help people, and it seems like you want to help people, so you can start that, and you are an intelligent man, you can do that."
Yes.
I didn't believe him.
Yes.
I didn't.
But to cut a long story short, you did train as a social
Yes.
worker, and you are a social worker now,
Yes.
and you're doing a master's degree.
Yes.
That is extraordinary, that distance you've come.
Yeah.
Can I just bring you back? Well, two things. Because I'd love to ask you questions all day about this. An amazing story. But one is, what would you say to someone in your position? You know, someone else who is somewhere on a similar sort of journey. And secondly, what would you say to churches churches around the country, really, who meet someone like you?
Yeah, I think the first thing I can say is God does work. Jesus saved my life, and it can save your life, wherever you are.
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
And God doesn't look at whether you are an orphan, whether you are a refugee, whether you are who you are, whether you are a citizen. God can save your life. That is my story, but there are other many stories there. People might be struggling with everyday life, but God can save you. The first step which I took is to go to church.
First step, yes.
I was on my own. At the church, I found friends. I wasn't isolated anymore. And from friends, the friends opened up my mind, opened up different opportunities.
Yeah.
So if I say I never lacked anything from the church, I won't be lying, because not only financial issue, because to me, financial things are an added bonus. To me, life, being able to talk to other people, being able to escape from isolation, that is the main thing, and that is what make a person. So then what I can say to people at the church is that the way you welcome people, that is what make a difference.
This life sounds like life-changing.
Yes,
yeah?
that is
Potentially
life-changing. And you never know when you can change somebody's life.
Yeah.
So a simple act of a smile and sign of welcoming changed my life.
Yes.
Because I won't forget the man who welcomed me for the first time at St. Francis, and even now, although I moved away from where I was living at St. Francis, but I feel St. Francis is still my home.
Yeah.
If I can't get there for some reason, I can go to another church, but St. Francis is where I belong. That's where all of us, we need friends. When you go to church, you want somewhere to belong. So if you are welcomed, then that might be the turning point.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. It's so powerful. And well done to St. Francis, well done to God, and well done to you, because you've responded to God's call on your life. So thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Thank you.
And thank you for listening. Thank you.